Well, I just don't know what to think anymore. After Avengers Age of Ultron sucked so hard, I think I'm losing faith in the action world. I don't know. Have I finally gone crazy? Crazier than I was, anyway. I think I've truly gone mad. Well put, action guy. Maybe just action is dead now. Either that or you and me are both crazy. And we look strangely a lot alike.
My name is Max.
Drive! You want to get through this?
Yes! 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 Alright, guys, gals, and everything in between. Here I am today, bringing you a review of Mad Max Fury Road. And oh boy, am I just excited to give you this review today. Mad Max Fury Road is the return to really filmmaking in general by George Miller. This dude is 70 years old and he's brought us the cult hit series Mad Max. So George Miller returns to his sci-fi dystopian epic with a story about this evil empire type area that wants more resources, and Charlize Theron is there and she decides she's had enough and she takes these band of women across the desert that they just happen to run into Mad Max, and all of these factions are all colliding as they race to the metaphorical finish line, and there's our movie. Mad Max, it has been a long time since the last one. It has been 30 years since the last Mad Max film, and I am personally a fan of the Mad Max series quite thoroughly. I saw the first film on TV once when I was in like 4th or 5th grade. I was watching it and all of a sudden I had no clue what it was, but I was intrigued by it and I was watching it, and my dad walked into the room and was like, "Oh hey, Mad Max." And I was like, "What is this?" And he explained to me it's like this weird, like, the world sucks and now we're fighting. It gets a lot crazier than the other ones, if you ask me. A lot crazier. I know Lord Humongous was pretty dang crazy in The Road Warrior, but in all honesty, some of the weird stuff in this one takes the cake. But it's all really cool, and this action movie is mind-blowing. Guys, gals, and everything in between, this movie is incredible. I mean, the action segments, it is really a simple concept. Charlize Theron needs to go from point A to point B, and there is mayhem in between. Yeah, you might sit there and go, "But Scott, how is there a story at that point if it is just wall-to-wall action?" Well, see, here's the interesting thing. George Miller is a talented filmmaker, and he knows that even with an action movie, you still need a story and to care about the characters. He finds moments in there to build character development, which seems to be a rarity in movies nowadays. During all these spectacles and wonderful action scenes, you're getting stories about these characters that you care about. And I mean, there's some that you shouldn't care about. Nicholas Hoult is incredible in this film. In terms of the acting, Nicholas Hoult, I mean, this is the best performance he's ever done, period. Tom Hardy as Mad Max, he does an incredible job encompassing what Mel Gibson was. And, you know, he doesn't honestly have a lot to do, but neither did Mad Max in The Road Warrior, so I mean, he had 16 lines of dialogue in that. He didn't have many more in this one, but he still did a great job with what he had, and you believed he was Max. You sat there and went, well, yeah, that is exactly how Max was back then, and he still is the same now. And I really liked that because this felt like it was meant to be another film shot a couple years after Thunderdome. And so you're like, oh, wow, so this is just right in the continuity. It was like they picked up like they never had missed it before. But now we have access to so much more resources, which means we get more high octane. The action in this film is perfectly filmed action, and it is the kind of action I want to see in an action movie. You know I'm a sucker for action movies, and lately I've been kind of sad with some of the action movies that have come out, and this one, purely simple, raw, unadulterated action that is filmed superbly. All of you who hate close quarters shaky cam, there isn't even shaky cam in this movie. He films it on a medium or wide shot, film with beautiful landscape as you see the entire action happening in front of you without the shake. Even in fistfight scenes, I was kind of shocked. It actually reminded me of Raiders of the Lost Ark on crack. Takes you to another place, and I was in awe. And like, there's a segment with these tornadoes, and I was watching it just going, oh my god, it was just, my mind was melted in, I was locked in, and you just see so much beautiful imagery, and most of it is done practically. And that is one of the amazing things of this film, is that it's practical. And yes, sometimes CG is good for film, I agree. But the way it's done, it just gave this level of authenticity, and you just felt like this was a real world with real people and real action in it. I believed all of the action. They had perfect gunplay. I mean, everything was well shot. So I guess that you guess my opinion of how George Miller directed this. He directed the crap out of it. This dude is 70 years old, and he is delivering action movies better than most people who are in their 30s and are supposed to be in their prime. It is zany, just ridiculous, mind-bending, weird stuff. I mean, there is a dude with a flamethrower guitar. Yeah, see that mod in Call of Duty. Actually, add a red dot site, and it probably is going to happen one day. But I digress. It is so ridiculous. There is not much. You could assume any weird thing is going to be in this, and it is. And the action scenes left me not knowing what's going to happen next because of how crazy it gets, but it's all practical. So it's not like it's super ridiculous like Fast and the Furious with cartwheeling Ferraris. No, this is just practical, raw action. Charlize Theron has this determination. She wants to be free. She wants that shred of happiness that doesn't exist anymore in this world. I mean, you care so much about all these characters that when things happen to them, you're like, whoa, no. And they give you so many spills and thrills. It is a roller coaster ride of epic. This is the kind of action movie I want to see. These are the kind of films I want to see. This is the film that it just is why I like to try and make movies myself with friends and colleagues. And, you know, I mean, it's nowhere near on par of that, but seeing as my budget is like a ham sandwich and my couch, and theirs is multi-million dollars, I digress again. But seriously, guys, gals, and everything in between, please go see Mad Max Fury Road. I don't want this to be that movie that everyone goes, oh, that was so great, but nobody watched it. And, you know, it's an underappreciated hit because this movie is everything it deserves with being told how great it is, because it is so amazing. And I just can't get over it. It is one of the best action movies I've ever seen. And it is up there with, like, The Raid 2, Taken, Die Hard, Mad Max Fury Road is up there, and it is one of the best action movies I've ever seen. It is easily my favorite movie of the year so far. Mad Max Fury Road is a future classic. Oh yes, I went there. This film is something that I'm going to be watching when I'm like 60, saying, oh man, I remember when action movies were made like that. It's so good. It deserves to be watched. Please go watch this film. I want to see this be a huge success, to show that quality really truly succeeds in this world, because right now with filmmaking we're getting a lot of crap like just schlocked at us, and people are going to see it, but it's like they're not getting true quality. It's like you're eating just like garbage when there's this wonderful thing in front of you could be eating. Alright guys, gals, and everything in between, I hope you like and subscribe. I've got way more videos coming to ya.